Daytona. She's 5-0 against Devidze and has been moving her forward. So that's been an interesting strategy. See if that comes up here again today.
Well, and you think back to the Selkirk Red Rock Open, Salome Devidze versus Catherine Parento in that championship. Catherine Parento having just taken a loss here in North Carolina to Brooke Buckner in the quarterfinal. But that was a heavy strategy for Catherine in terms of utilizing that forward motion against Salome Devidze.
For sure. You don't want her just running side to side and not having to go forward when you know you have a foot speed advantage.
So Anna Leigh Waters, we mentioned having taken a month off in terms of competition. I guarantee you she didn't take a month off the court.
0% chance of that.
Just a true lover of the game. And she's won just about everything under the sun.
And even indoors.
That one took me a second, Dave, I'm not gonna lie.
1-1.
Anna Leigh Waters, coached by her mom, Leigh Waters. All I have to say is I want that pre-coaching meal Leigh Waters got last night. Always a big favorite of both the Waters in terms of their dinner selections at tournaments. They always go to the nicest places.
Yeah, what they have
like,
last
I need
night.
to eat with you guys. Look like some bolognese, maybe something along those lines. Nice contact from Anna Leigh Waters on the forehand.
I mean, Devidze thinks she's hitting an approach shot, and here, watch where Anna Leigh comes on this. Split step, explode to the right, and hit a winner.
1-2.
That's special right there.
Anna Leigh Waters has 4 gold medals in women's pro singles just this year. And by the way, this is the 9th stop.
2-1.
Salome Devidze making her first final of the year in St. George. One of the best ball strikers on the move, Anna Leigh Waters.
No doubt. And, you know, you talk about singles. It's nice to see us back with singles as our last tourney. We didn't even have singles. We started it up on Friday out in Newport.
Just taking a shot right through the middle and then closing down Anna Leigh Waters.
Yeah, a little, I'm ready for you to volley this, and I'm coming forward.
2-2.
Salome Devidze, a fantastic former tennis player, now 37 years old. The Georgian out of the country of Georgia.
2-2.
This is what makes pickleball so fun, 37 versus 16.
Yes. And those disparities in the pro game are going to keep happening too, which is so exciting. We're going to have a bunch of kids that just, you know, we'd say, oh, you came from tennis. Well, there's going to be a ton of kids that just
come from
only play
pickleball.
pickle.
Massive overhead from Anna Leigh Waters.
Yeah, just went with pace in the center of the court, didn't look to find an angle, which against Devidze is usually what you'd expect her to do, but it still proves to be effective.
3-2.
Anna Leigh Waters will be playing alongside Jack Sock for mixed here in North Carolina. Nice two-hand backhand from Salome Devidze. She's dealt with a bit of adversity in the last handful of weeks in terms
more
of
than a bit.
A bit.
Yes.
2-3.
She's handled it well, though.
Yep. Yeah, it keeps coming out here and competing.
PPA has done a really nice job alongside USA Pickleball to improve the paddle testing technology. Salome Devidze had a little bit of a run-in with that in St. George, Utah. Paddle was tested and cleared.
Yep.
3-2.
It was one of the first steps into one of the first big steps into creating a little bit more of an even playing field in terms of paddle technology.
Yeah, everybody just wants fair play. And
4-2.
once all the protocols are worked out, all the players will fall in line. They, you know,
Point.
right now, we're getting there. And that's what the players know and appreciate.
5-2.
Just off the edge of her paddle.
Point.
Yeah, you're trying to find that lob over the backhand shoulder, but left it outside. And this is what Anna Leigh does. You feel like, man, Salome's hitting the ball clean here today, and you look up at the score, and it's 6-2. She's down, and now 7.
Speaking of hitting the ball cleanly, just 5'6", but plenty of reach and ability to move that ball around is Anna Leigh Waters out of Delray Beach, Florida.
Point.
You know, it's so funny. It feels like just a few years ago that we were talking about how aggressive Anna Leigh Waters is in terms of her play, and now it's just become the expectation. Also started playing tennis at a young age, as did Anna Leigh Waters, who's made the full switch.
Point.
And again, there's the use of the drop shot from Anna Leigh Waters.
Yeah, it's effective against many and very effective against this opponent.
9-2.
Looking to loop it. A little too much. Salome Devidze came to U.S. when she was just 10 years old, moved to South Florida. And again, Anna Leigh Waters looking on that forehand side.
Yeah, tried to roll the prior one down the line a little too much. That one too much roll into the net. And, you know, Devidze knows part of playing Anna Leigh is you're going to get past, but you cannot play timidly or you will be out quickly.
Point. You get it. Timeout receiving.
So point.
Other side of that is that woman right there said enough, and has not lost a singles match since. Hasn't played a ton of those tournaments, but she is not going to let that occur again in her mind. And obviously, as you mentioned earlier, she has not lost a women's doubles match this year either.
She goes with a more shallow return after missing 2. Plays a little bit more tennis now. Trusts her game in the midst of the rally.
Yeah, I think a lot of the players against Devidze has tried to do too much with those volleys, where if you make her constantly have to track down the next ball, you're going to stay ahead.
A fantastic angle from Devidze to set up the winner.
Yeah, that's why she is consistently in semifinals, Cam. The ball striking and the precision on both sides. It's not just the forehand, it's the forehand and the backhand for Devidze.
A little bit of a run here for Devidze. Right now, she's doing a solid job creating angles.
Great job of, I think, maybe last year she would have stayed back off that ball, scared to be passed. She blasted it in the corner and make Anna Leigh beat you, and she was right there for the volley.
And a little bit of a skidder. Devidze is going, is there a hole in my paddle?
Yeah, I mean, that ball did not come up at all.
Nine, 6.
Big overhead for Anna Leigh Waters, who lets out very aggressive, yeah.
Yeah, sure did.
Timely.
10-6.
10-6, it's game point for AL.
Point
Game one, after a few go the direction of Salome Devidze, Anna Leigh Waters on top.
See ya.
Game 2, time in. 0-0.
No one does a read better than you, Dave Fleming.
Oh, I
Salome
appreciate Vint.
Salome Devidze versus Anna Leigh Waters here on Championship Court. If you're just joining us, welcome to the semifinals on the women's side of the draw. Anna Leigh Waters back in action after a month off. It's interesting just to watch, again, Anna Leigh Waters and how she's really trying to project that ball shorter and with a ton of topspin shallow into the court. I mean, she almost has to contort her body differently on contact.
Yeah, you got to get the paddle head where you want it to be able to do that, and that affects where the rest of your body is. And sometimes you have to have that really tight to your body to be able to hit that ball right there. And the camera is going as crazy as the action here. Everything's moving, Cam, and it's an unbelievable rally.
The good news is, guys, I don't think there's an earthquake, so we're solid in that regard.
3-0.
What an angle.
Point.
Anna Leigh Waters.
Yeah, showing off why she is the best player in the world there. And that's where, you know, we talk about the short part of the court, but that's part of it too. The short angle will beat Devidze as well.
Side out.
Nice passing shot from Salome Devidze. It's also really fun. I enjoy watching the footwork of Anna Leigh Waters, just in terms, especially on that backhand side, how oftentimes she's hitting open stance to closed stance, and some of the nuances to her game as she works there, cross court, closed stance. Big swing from Salome.
Yeah, I love that she came in. She saw that Anna Leigh Waters chose not to return and come in, so Devidze took the net. Again, enter at your own risk, but it is the option you have to take because you have got to take advantage when it's there, or else you'll just be sitting a duck.
Point.
That was a new contact from Anna Leigh Waters. I've never seen that one before.
I know that was a tweener, but in front, so I don't know what you call that.
A front tweener.
I don't know what that was.
In all my days.
2-4.
Sometimes you just get caught and you just get
The
paddle
scooper.
there. Yeah, that's what it was.
I mean, that's one of the fun parts of being a broadcaster, Dave. You get to come up with the
Yeah,
terms.
I'll get one for that because it's certainly not a tweener.
4-3 now. Here's another look at it.
Yeah, the scoop.
The scooper.
The scoopa. It's spelled A-H on the end, though.
Point.
And again, nice aggressive play on serve here from Devidze. She was in a hole to start game two and is not going to back off, and I love it.
Point.
And again, Salome just doing such a solid job. Is it?
Timeout receiving.
Getting some net love as Salome Devidze.
So what's going on here is Devidze thought this was over when she threw up the overhead, but instead of hitting it in the open court, Anna Leigh hit it right back to where Devidze said. On that ball, Devidze said, nice ball. And Anna Leigh is saying, hey, that threw me off because she's telling me it's over as I'm about to hit the next shot. So that's the discussion here. I'm not sure she's going to win this discussion. But she's saying that's a hindrance to her hitting the next ball.
So they're going to question whether this can, in fact, be challenged.
Okay, so now there's a discussion with Devidze about, did you say nice shot? So Devidze, who you mentioned before, just something always seems that, in this case, she's being questioned, did she say nice shot of all things?
And this is what she always goes back to. She just kind of turns and goes and finds her own space to exist in.
Yeah. So Anna Leigh doesn't put the ball away, and here we are.
I will say, though, it's not oftentimes you want to poke a bear, Dave.
No,
And as in never. I've never once wanted to poke a bear.
Fortunately, I've never had even the chance to poke a bear, so I'm not going to do it.
And I mean that as a term of endearment, because Anna Leigh Waters is fierce, plays with a ton of emotion, and I mean that in a good sense.
Yeah, and I'm not surprised by the volume of joy after hitting that overhead, and she is bouncing that ball with a purpose. She's going
and
to
two
sprint
straight.
to the line.
Yep. She's already bouncing the ball, ready to serve.
6-6.
Make it 3 straight for Anna Leigh Waters.
This might need to be a Devidze timeout because her opponent is on the run. She is going to play one more, it looks like.
7-6.
To go back to your initial comment, 5-0 is the series record between these two. 4 straight backhand cross court, Anna Leigh Waters.
Consider the bear post
as fuel.
Yeah, and there's kerosene
8-6.
being dumped all over this court with how fired up she is.
Point.
Make it 5 for Anna Leigh Waters. 9-6 for the #1 seed.
9-6. Side out.
She wanted to run that out so badly and just missed that right there.
I think she got what she needed, though, here in game 2.
6-9.
Momentum back on her side. Response from Salome Devidze. And Devidze is now the one on the move.
Just a tremendous point from Devidze as Anna Leigh Waters somehow got the ball before this one back, but Devidze was there as Anna Leigh couldn't get enough on that. It gave Devidze time and put it away. Nice response from her.
Great cross step as Anna Leigh looks to the crowd.
Yep, a little right now, so we'll see.
Side out.
Yeah, that's a risky ball to come in behind because Devidze's got all kinds of time, and you cannot take away the whole court there. Great shot from Devidze.
the shallow backhand winner.
I mean, that's just ridiculous, and that's not even a shot a lot of singles players think to even hit, because you think, I got to keep them back. But when you use the front half of the court against a player like Devidze, that is just brilliant.
One got away from her. Anna Leigh's paired oftentimes that forehand shallow ball to the forehand and then found the backhand of Salome Devidze, spreading the court.
Point.
And a missed return, so 8-9 Salome. Hitting the reset now.
8-9.
Anna Leigh with a fist pump. Another good passing shot. Salome has found herself at the net, it feels like, more often than I've seen in the past.
It is the only way you are going to beat Anna Leigh Waters. If you stay back, you will not win.
Point.
Not the time for that. Salome in disbelief, now match point for the #1 seed.
Point game.
Anna Leigh Waters, in 2 games played, picks up the win and moves on to Championship Sunday.